into the game was that McDonald had this kind of laundry list of Val Lewton pictures from the old RKO days. They were all double feature pictures. I Walked with a Zombie, The Thing, The Cat People, and all of this. So I handed this list to Max because he was a horror expert. I said, Max, which one of these pictures would you do if I could get a remake of it? He said, I'd do The Cat People. And so he was a part of The Cat People with me when we made the movie. We redeveloped that to try to make a sequel. Didn't happen, but Max was like the guy who said that's the thing to do.
Now, I have to hold up this page that has a woman named Ava Fries.
Yeah.
And she produced, but you insisted she did it on her own time. The Troop Beverly Hills, one of the funniest films. Right.
Well, Ava truly was a Beverly Hills troop leader, and she actually was the poster leader. We have a poster on that wooden permaplaque at home of Ava with her daughter Tammy and the other little girls in the troop, and she would, when they first started going together, she would tell these stories, you know, about how when she took them on a camp out and it rained, so they went back to the Beverly Hills Hotel and rented a bungalow and roasted their weenies and marshmallows in the fireplace. Well, people just dropped over laughing. She said, you know, I had a merit badge called jewelry appraisal. I took them all down to Cartier's and had them learn how to appraise jewelry. I said, Ava, this is a movie. She said, I know. I said, well, let's see if we can make it.
Did she write the screenplay?
Did she what?
Did she write the screenplay? Or
she basically, here's what happened. I said, Ava, we can't start this, and you aren't going to have the rights in this if you don't write the basic story. So she sat down and did about a 20-page treatment on it. And then she got created by credit, and she got the story credit on the movie. And she was out on the set for 55 days producing that film. I must say it was unbelievable. She was up in the morning with her Reeboks. We were having dinner after dailies at 9 o'clock at the Musso Frank. She really did the job. She also produced another series called Born Famous.
Yeah, but you also brought your children into Fries Productions. And I left the picture here that had the building on Hollywood Boulevard with Fries in the top.
Well, my oldest son, when I was at Metro Media, Tommy kind of started in the editorial department, and they would work, we'd go on location, we needed a security guy at night, so I'd give them $50 a night, and they would sit there in a trailer or sleep in the trailer, and that's the way they kind of got started in the business. And then they build sets, right? And we'd build sets any place on these television movies. We'd build sets within houses. Anyway, when Butch graduated, my oldest son graduated in 1977 from law school. You know, he was thinking about a law career, and then I said, you know, why don't you come to work with me? And so he stayed with me for 15 years. Tommy was in the development department. He was film editor. They all worked. They all had something. Diane worked on movies. Diane worked a lot on administrative things, making moves for us. Young John was an assistant on what was that movie we made? Thrashing, which was about skateboarding. And so they were all around there at one time or another.
Now, we should say too, this book took a lot of time and a lot of work, but there's also the book you did on We'll Never Be Young Again about Jack Kennedy.
Yes, well, that was you interviewed me for that on your program before.
I also went to see the play. You have made plays out of both that and about Rose Kennedy. And
the Rose Kennedy play is going, I worked on that for 3 years, developing that, and it's going to open in January on at Emerson Arts College in Boston in their commercial theaters on January 27th. It's a 3-woman play. The young Rose, the older Rose, middle Rose are all on stage at the same time. And they're all talking about her life at the age level that they remember. And each one, you know, the young Rose is very excited energetic. The middle Rose has been through the mill with Joe. She's had her hard knocks. And the old Rose is there kind of thinking, well, you know, I'm going to smooth it all over and I'm going to make it look good because all in all, I had a good life and I'm happy with my life, you know? And I'm anxious to see it, to go back and see, because it's going to be directed by a very well-known female director, Amelia Van Sussen, and Judith Roberts, Frances McDowell, and a young woman yet to be named from the Emerson College Arts Department will be the young Rose.
That's great. You did pick a time of the year that's going to be very cold in Boston.
I know, everyone tells me that. It's bitingly cold and it gets down to 10 degrees. So I didn't pick the date. They did. It's going to be shown as a part of their Irish Culture and Arts Festival. And can't tell you if I'm even positive I'm going to go back there, although I just can't believe that I'm not going to be there for the opening.
You have to. But also in this book is, your 80th birthday and Ava's 9999 birthday.
Well, if you notice, I had my 70th, 80th birthday at the same place. I had Four Seasons Hotel in the garden room. The first birthday party I had for Ava, we sent an invitation. It said, "How old does Ava pretend to be?"
Yeah.
And then we did a 9999, and we also did a 999. Just this last year. So that's been kind of a tradition here. Let's hope we can go for a lot more nines with her.
Yeah. Nowadays, are you preparing to film anything else again?
Oh, sure. Right now, I just concluded a deal to do a Canadian-Australian co-production on a film I made, Screamers, with Peter Weller. That's based on a Philip K. Dick story, Second Variety. He's an iconic name, you know, Total Recall, The Last Detail were his projects. I'm working on a project that Dick Berg and I, the late Dick Berg and I own together, American Flag, which is a script by Elmore Leonard. We're going to put together a film on that. And Flowers in the Attic and Petals in the Wind are a part of a deal I have at MGM, and we're looking into the possibility of doing one or the other as remakes or originals. That's a V.C. Andrews. They're very well-known books. They've sold millions and millions.
Chuck, I also have to say, at the end of this book, it is amazing, the filmography. And I was curious, why did you choose certain directors? Why did you choose that kept playing back within your filmography?
Why did I keep choosing
certain directors that you did?
Well, you know, for example, John Llewellyn Moxey. I've lost track of him. I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
He was a good friend. He had a style that irritated networks because John would shoot about 60% of the amount of film as any director, and he cut everything in the camera because he was a film editor. And unfortunately, we go to the network and they would look at the film and they'd say, when you'd say, "We don't have anything. That's all he shot. That's it." But he was efficient. He was creative. He was very, very good. Paul Wenkos. Paul Wenkos, a great friend, and did beautiful camera work. I was looking at a student film on Monday, and I said to myself, I swear to God, I think this boy that directed this is Paul Wenkos, because the way the camera was always moving around everyone in the place. But you know, it's you get working relationships with people, David Green. You get working relationships with people, and you trust each other.
Yeah.
And you know, when you a director, your husband's a director. You know that. And when the film leaves, when they say action on that first day, the person that's in charge is the director, and you better have someone that you can trust.
But you would be there at night for the dailies. The dailies were what you looked at.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to see the dailies, and you have to, you know, you've got to know what's going on with the movies, and you got to be for the editing and The most difficult time for me was to try to get out to the dubbing stage. I didn't get there as often as I should have or wanted to. But that was the end of the process. And by that time, I had something else coming along, something else coming along, you know.
Marvelous, marvelous way that life kept going. I thank you, Chuck. Will you autograph my book?
Of course. I have to put my glasses on.
And if you'd like to know what else we've been reading, visit me on the web at www.conniemartinson.com. We'll tell you about some other books we've liked recently, but you can also see our columns from the Beverly Hills Courier. You can visit me by linking in to see maybe 84 shows if you want on YouTube, as well as over 600 at Claremont Graduate Digital Library, Peter Drucker Institute. I feel very honored to be on the same page with the late Peter Drucker. But these are all places that are archiving shows with people like Chuck Fries or Chaim Herzog. They're there. Now, support your local library, because whatever you do, libraries are the institution of democracy in America. Anybody can go in today, anybody can get a library card. And librarians should be more honored than they are, because they keep literature alive. They help the poor person who comes in and says, I'm having trouble reading. They do all of that. What did a library mean to you in Cincinnati, Chuck?
Absolutely. I had my library card, and I had a sweet little sweetheart that lived right across the street from the library. So I got there quite often.
Never missing a beat.
Matter of fact, I played Falstaff at a play at the public library.
Support the library, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome. Thank you.